Hey, Will, it's David Olkowetsky with Artisan Revere. Thank you very much for your order. My team and I appreciate it. In front of me, I've got your 3 Cobalt Blue Chef Petty and paring knives. And let's just do our standard QC inspection. That was your chef's knife. This is your paring knife. And this is your small petty. Perfect. All right, let's do the rest of the inspection. So first thing I do is I check to make sure that the hex screws are fully flush with the handle. They are. Next, I inspect to make sure that the Cobalt Blue Rich Light, the red G10 and the Tang are fully flush and there's no gaps between any of them. There aren't any. I'm going to check right here in front of the handle to make sure it's nice and soft on the top and on the bottom of the front of the handle. It's perfect. I'm feeling it in hand to make sure it feels just right. It does. I'm going to check the choil area to make sure it's nice and rounded over. It is, I know, because I spent a little bit of extra time on it. Same thing for the spine of the blade. We like to have it nice and rounded over so there's no calluses, as you know from our conversation. Now I'm inspecting the edge grind to make sure it is nice and even. It is perfect, and now I'm just going to run it through my fingernail just to make sure it's a kind of a double check against the magazine paper. I'm going to do the same thing for the small paring knife. There we go. Beautiful. And for the small petty as well. Okay, wonderful. By the way, these knives are currently sitting on top my personal small cherry cutting board. Just wanted you to see what the color scheme would look like. I do think it looks better on the cherry versus the walnut, by the way. So a couple quick pointers. When you are storing your knives, make sure you pop them into the leather sheath so that the AR on the blade matches up with the AR on the leather sheath. 2 reasons for that. Number 1, there's a leather welt on the bottom of the leather sheath, and that's going to prevent you from cutting through it. And number 2, it's going to create some friction because the top of the welt, the top of the leather sheath doesn't have that welt, the bottom does, whereas the top of the knife is thicker and the bottom of the knife is thinner, so it creates friction like that. One other pointer. What I usually do is I usually store my knives on a magnet. So this is a magnet that has neodymium magnets on the inside, so I pop it on the spine and then rotate it like that, and then just take it off. You take the edge off first and then pull it off again, just so you can see it one more time, and like that. And like we discussed, these knives are finished at a little bit of a toothy grit, so they're going to stay sharper a little bit longer. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I really appreciate it, and thanks again.